The Enbridge Line through pipeline has been fully operational for about a month. This after overcoming years of government red tape, lawsuits, and protests. But for many Native American communities that tried to stop the pipeline in northern Minnesota, the fight to protect tribal land and resources strikes a sensitive nerve, one that dates back more than 100 years.
Here's Fox 9's Nathan O'Neill with tonight's special report. Minnesota Untold, our land, their land.
For Minnesota's Anishinaabe people, Enbridge's Line 3 pipeline is just the latest chapter in a strained relationship between tribal communities and the U.S. government. Today's pipeline controversy, in fact, echoes back to a tangled history of broken treaties and broken promises. It's here, in the heart of northern Minnesota, where the waterways meet sprawling beds of wild rice. Wading in the knee-high water, we meet Winona Leduc of the White Earth Band of Ojibwe.
It's the food for the spirits. And so our responsibility is to protect our wild rice.
As the stories go, wild rice, or manumin, is both a sacred food and central to the Ojibwe creation stories.
Long ago, our people were instructed to follow a shell which appeared in the sky to the place where the food grows upon the water.
Leduc calls herself a water protector and says her ancestral homeland faces a new threat, an oil pipeline that runs through the heart of northern Minnesota.
Who gives away your water, your civil rights, your constitutional rights, and your land to a foreign corporation?
For almost 8 years, Leduc has dedicated her entire life to the fight in hopes of stopping Enbridge Energy's Line 3 oil pipeline from running through areas where her ancestors once lived off the land.
I got a 3-year-old granddaughter, and it'd be great if she could still harvest wild rice and fish. And I'm pretty sure the only way that's going to work out is if people like us stand up for her.
The new Line 3 replacement pipeline, which went online October 1st, stretches from Canada across northern Minnesota to Superior, Wisconsin. In 2018, the Canadian-based company Enbridge approached the state of Minnesota, claiming the old pipeline, which was constructed back in the 1960s, needed to be redone.
Replacing Line 3 comprehensively addresses the known integrity risks and reduces the risk of accidental release before an incident occurs.
The final route for Line 3 avoids most of the federally recognized Native American reservations. That is, with the exception of the Fond du Lac Reservation, a tribe which initially opposed the project.
This new route, this expansion route, is a terrible idea.
But following the state's approval of the pipeline, a confidential deal was struck between the tribe and Enbridge to allow the construction of the pipeline directly on tribal land. Even so, the pipeline still runs through hundreds of miles of ceded territory, land previously taken by the U.S. government through 100-year-old treaty agreements.
It's a continuation of the same taking of native lands and rights and the mistreatment of native people and the denial of our human rights. It's exactly the same.
An often untold piece to these land battles is rooted in generations of historical trauma. In the 1800s, the United States was expanding westward. Native Americans were pushed onto reservations as a result of treaties which promised money, food, and supplies in exchange for the land. But those deals were often filled with deceit and empty promises. One of the most diabolical led to the Sandy Lake tragedy. In 1850, thousands of Ojibwe people were forced from their homeland in Wisconsin to Sandy Lake, Minnesota. The territorial governor, Alexander Ramsey, had required the Ojibwe to relocate before giving them their annual treaty payment. But the money was intentionally delayed. And then winter came. The waters froze over, and more than 400 Ojibwe died from starvation, disease, and exposure. More than a decade later, at New Ulm, tensions boiled over between the Dakota people and the U.S. government, again over unkept promises and broken treaties. The Dakota War, known to historians as a deadly flashpoint in Minnesota history.
I believe that the Dakota people and the settlers were simply pawns in a game of expansion.
In August 1862, the Dakota decided to retaliate with bloodshed. Hundreds of settlers were killed, and so were an untold number of Dakota.
The Dakota, on the other hand, were displaced from this land, promised payment for the land, and settlement on land by the reservations which could not support their lifestyle. And so they, I'm sure as they signed the treaties, some of them hoped this was the right thing for them to do. It wasn't.
In fact, throughout the 1800s, tribal communities and the U.S. government signed a series of treaties in exchange for land that would ultimately become the corridor for the Line 3 oil pipeline. But the treaties also preserved Native people's right to hunt, fish, and gather on the very land where they were forced out.
Go on, Patches, let's go.
Which brings us back to Winona LaDuke and her fears about oil spills compromising watersheds and wild rice.
Throughout the process, we have been treated like third-class citizens.
LaDuke was among hundreds of people arrested demonstrating against the pipeline in the months before it went online.
I have 10 separate charges against me, and I spent 3 nights in jail. Now, a lot of my ancestors probably had exactly the same thing, and I feel like that in 2021 should be time to quit the war on the Indians, time to quit the Indian wars.
But Enbridge Energy executives say the new pipeline does not violate treaty rights, calling it the most studied oil pipeline in state history. How confident are you and the folks at Enbridge that this new pipeline won't compromise tribal resources or the environment at large?
Well, because we've done the work.
The company pointing to a 300-mile survey led by Jim Jones to identify key cultural resources considered sacred to tribes along the route.
The line has encountered a number of changes that were identified back in the 2018 surveys, and routes were changed to avoid impacts.
Jones himself is a member of the Leech Lake Band of Ojibwe and is skeptical of the claim that the pipeline violates any treaty rights.
How can you break a treaty that's already been broken? How can you break a treaty that's already been, not honored going back? It's only in the last 3 to 4 years where the state has recognized that all you need to rice now on state land is a tribal ID. But I remember 4 years ago, 5 years ago, having to buy a state license so I could rice the Mississippi River outside of Grand Rapids, Minnesota.
At the Mitchell-Hamlin School of Law, Professor Angelique Eaglewoman tells us treaties are considered the supreme law of the land.
So you can't say 100 years later, we're just going to ignore that. It has ongoing relevance. And when we look at the U.S. Constitution, that's more than 100 years old. It still has ongoing relevance.
She reminds us those treaty rights, including the right to gather wild rice, were upheld by the U.S. Supreme Court as recently as 1999.
If you make it so that you've drained all the water and there's no wild rice, that isn't upholding your end of the treaty.
Ultimately, efforts to stop the construction of the pipeline were not successful, even following appeals to President Biden, leaving critics of the pipeline like Winona LaDuke to pivot their efforts in hopes of shutting it down.
This is a scary proposition for all of us. And hopefully it's a lesson for Minnesota before it's too late, so we can protect our water and protect our future generations.
But in a place where promises have been broken generation after generation, you can't help but wonder how long that fight over treaty rights might last. Now, it's worth noting there are a couple lawsuits that aim to shut down Line 3 to protect the natural resources included in those treaties. Legal scholars say if there is an accident with this pipeline or an oil spill in the future, we can expect even more lawsuits to come to assert those treaty rights. I'm Nathan O'Neill, Fox 9.